Okay, we are on 2.2, question E38, and this one's more of like a puzzle, I guess you could say. So we have a series of values right here, and it looks like we have 8 values. We can replace any one of them with a number from 1 to 10. For example, we could take that 26 out and replace it with a 7, or we could replace the 2 out and replace it with a 2 again if we wanted. Question is, how would we make this replacement to make the standard deviation as large as possible? So it's really trying to get the concept of what a standard deviation is. So standard deviation is, in general, about how far are points away from the mean. So the first thing we might want to do is figure out the mean of these points right here. So let's do that really quickly. We know that there's 8 points there, or eight values, and wow, supersized calculator here. Let's see, there we go. So I'm just going to take 15 plus 7 plus 26 plus 32 plus 14 plus 7 plus 26 plus 2, press enter, divide by 8 to get the mean. So 16 is my mean, and that'll just give me a reference here. So if I want to make the standard deviation as large as possible, I want my points to be as far away as possible from that 16. In other words, what's making my standard deviation low? Well, the thing closest to 16 is this 15, so that's pushing my standard deviation down. The things that are making it larger are this 32 and the 2, the furthest away from the 16. So if I'm trying to make it large, I want to get rid of this guy because he's keeping the standard deviation low. I want to get rid of him, and then I want to replace him with something that's as far away from 16 as possible. So if these are my options, 1 to 10, 1 would be as far away as possible. So without going through any calculations, I know that taking away my value that's friendliest to the standard deviation, if you will, and replacing it with one that's furthest away is gonna increase that standard deviation as much as possible. Now if I want to make it as small as possible, it's the exact opposite. I want to take one of these two, either the 32 or the 2, that's making it large. I want to get rid of that and replace it with something that'll make it smaller, hopefully. So I had 16 point something, so this would be 14 point something away, this would be 15 point something away. So this one's going to be a little further away, not by much, but a little further away from my mean. So I want to get rid of it because it's increasing that standard deviation. And if I can choose any of these 10 numbers, 10 is going to help me out the most because it'll be closest to that mean, closest to that 16. So certainly this will reduce it by some. Not sure how much it will, but it'll certainly make it smaller. And if I want to create an outlier, if possible. Now, in order to do this, if I want to create an outlier, I know that I'll probably either have to add the 1 in and hope that that 1 is an outlier, or I'll add the 10 in to make the standard deviation smaller and then hope that this 32 is an outlier. So neither of these are really easy to check. We could, probably the best way is to calculate what an outlier would actually be. So to do an outlier, we need to find the IQR. In other words, we need to find the first and third quartile. Well, the first quartile is going to be between the second and third points. So that'll be between our 7 and 7. So our first quartile is just going to be 7. Our second one's going to be between the 6th and the 7th point. So we have between the 26 and the 26. So this is very convenient. They've helped us out here a bit. So we know that this interquartile range, which is the distance between Q3 and Q1, is 26 minus 7, or 19. Now what we need to do then is take this 19 times 1.5. So once we get the interquartile range, we multiply it by 1.5, and if I know that 19 is about 20, so 1.5 is going to put me at about 30. In other words, I'm going to have to be about 30 below Q1, so 30 below 7, or 30 above Q3, so 30 above 26 or 56, to get an outlier, and clearly neither of those are possible. So I'm not going to be able to get a negative number, because I'm only allowed to add 1 to 10. I'm not going to be able to get anywhere near the 52. Now, if I were to pull one out, say I were to pull the 2 out, pull the 2 out, replace it with a 10, am I going to change things? A little bit. So my Q1 then would be between 7 and 10, it'd be 8.5. So I'd get a little closer, but it's so far away to actually get an outlier that I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'm replacing the 0 with a 0. In other words, it's not possible to do.